Embark on your journey, the path you must take. Though hate may surround you, it's not your fate to forsake. Co-creating your destiny in the dance of time. The guiding light within you ignites the sublime. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. In the depths of your being, the truth resides. Embrace your power, let your spirit rise. With every step forward, you transcend the expanded conscious community we commend. Through trials and triumphs, your soul evolves in the symphony of life, where every note resolves. Listen to the whispers of your inner voice. In unity and love, let your heart rejoice. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. It is the light, the guiding light from the heart and soul. Don't lose control. Let it be the light, shining bright, unlocking potential beyond belief, taking flight. As we gather together in this sacred space, embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way in unlocking potential day by day. Embracing transformation with grace. Life coach Malachi leads the way in unlocking potential day by day.
Weekly streaming consciousness friends, to my beloved weekly streaming
Embark on your journey.
I'm here. I gotta get that music to stop. What's up? Welcome. I appreciate you for coming out here this evening. Everybody that's out there, hey, we're about to reflect on some things and we're going to enjoy this evening. Whatever you do, I want you to like and share this post. One thing I want to say, if you're listening and you're out there right now at this moment, you're used to this and this stream. One is a shout out to Miss Deidre, who serves in the community as Director of Operations for Expanded Consciousness and what's being developed. I'm filing for nonprofit status so that we can continue to grow in a very strategic way, merging the science with the spiritual and leading the charge in the space of understanding us as a people, as humans, when it comes to the evolution of who we are. Tonight is going to be a special night as I dedicate this moment in this time to the reason, for the most part, why I have been led to speak to you on this platform. I spent many years working around and with the late and great Bishop Carlton Pearson, who I met through, personally met through Wayman Tisdale, who has also transitioned. As we know, a year ago yesterday, Bishop Carlton Pearson, he transitioned, aka died. We like to use those words, those words that make things seem a bit better or smoother or whatever the case may be. But here we are. Make sure you like and share. And if you're just tapping into it in, just bear with me, please. And if not, go on. I don't care. I mean, you are, if you're part of this and being a part of this community, you know what's up. Going back, I would like to actually take this moment to mention Director of Operations Deidre for Expanded Consciousness. I said I was going to mention that. Deidre is experiencing a moment in time where her mother has been going through some things, and she is caretaking for her mother as she prepares her in a hospice status to try to get her back to health. But I want to take this moment in time and things that Deidre has done for me, helping me build and work in expanded consciousness. So any of you guys that are out there, listen, I would like for you to all just understand and reference Miss Deidre. Later on tonight, she had to basically dismiss from work and just focus on this. So we're going to dedicate this day also to her, encouraging her, uplifting her, and knowing that, we're going to make it. We're all going to make it. I have so much going on. All of us do, but I have so much going on. But tonight is the legacy, the life. I think it was the life, the legacy, and the mission. If you get a chance to, I'll put that on, because type that in the chat, and that is the life. The life, legacy, and mission of Bishop Carlton Pearson. It's such a beautiful experience to see so many people honor his existence. Because he lived in a moment that he didn't get to receive, or of course he received a lot of honor, but a lot of the dishonor really, really sticks out in your life. But he would be shocked, he would be surprised, he would be moved. I witnessed it personally many times when he would see people say something about him and about what he's doing. And some of his last words and things that he remembered was when so many people were reaching out to him, and he was able to just really witness individual people love him and care for him. And if you read my message, it was really true. He was saying that, I will not. He said, we don't die. When I first talked to him, we're doing it through text, and then we talk on the phone. And he was just like, they just want to contact me because they think I'm dying. And part of that, for me, I was like, I mean, you're going on hospice. They can't figure out what's going on. Like, I'm thinking, like, what are you talking about? We'll get more into that. But it was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I'm fine. You don't die. Okay. But anyways, it goes on to show me that he was speaking very metaphysical. He is speaking in his essence. And I would say that this evening, let's take a moment to reflect and to learn and to, in this community, this expanded consciousness community, let's just take a moment for ourselves, regardless of how other people feel, and to connect. I mean, this is, as far as I know, this is the only, I know there's other shows, but this is truly 100% dedicated to not just this particular show, but everything that I do when it comes to expanded consciousness. It was him that I worked with in expanded consciousness, and it was he that said, hey, you got to go do what you do. And you got to do what you do. I'm done here. And you got to decide what you want to do. So, anyways, let's go ahead, and I want to go ahead and give a few shout outs, a little different movement here. A few shout outs for all you people that just tap into it. And our first is just the most heartfelt appreciation to you for sticking with this and sticking with us. I don't want this to be about me. I wouldn't do this if it was about me. I've never been a person that was about me. I've always been a behind the scenes guy. Although I influence and help individual people like Bishop Carlton Pearson when it comes to content, when it comes to thought, and when it comes to things, philosophy, and things of that nature. I've always been that person. But anyways, Miss Lynn, I appreciate you. You are 100% always there. You and Brother Christopher, you are amazing. You mean so much. Love to have you. Love that you're here. Of course, D, keep on keeping on. Keep pushing through. This is all part of the story, sis. It's all part of the story. Mr. Loris, you are awesome. You are awesome all the way from Detroit. Yes, yes. And Phyllis, awesome. Yes, we know that you are here dedicated to the community, and we so appreciate you. Of course, nonetheless, Miss Tia, who is here in Tulsa when I do certain things, could be by my side to help assist with things. And we have so much work to do. So keep the course, Tia. Stay focused, right? Keep the meditations rolling. Don't give up. Don't let the energy suck you in from anything else that is not aligned with your mission, which we'll get more into tonight. Mother Gwen, I appreciate you once again. You are the rock. Oshara, can't wait to have you this Saturday. Brother Jalen Shaw, who is out of Pine Bluff, White, whatever. What is it outside? You're Pine Bluff. You ain't from Whitehall. But anyways, and to everyone else that is here, I so 100% appreciate you. Rob, I see you. Stana, I see you. All the different people from Bishop, Dr. Brooks, everyone, yes. Oh, good to see you. Good to see you. Everyone that was tapped in and tuned in, just know this. This is 100% dedicated to us. And later on, I'm going to give a chance to allow one or two of you jump in here. I won't run this forever with me, but to jump in here and have comment. Very not too often do we get to have a moment. I'll post it in the link there, so just make sure your phone, it's going to pop you up and on the screen, just to give comment on what Bishop Pearson possibly means to you and what, the life, the legacy, and the mission. As you've seen there before, I would like to pull up the last message that he gave that I was not involved with. But I was not involved with. But it came through and it shocked me what I witnessed. So let's look at that real quick. I think this was a beautiful message. And let's just listen to it on what he said in this message.
To my beloved weekly streaming consciousness friends, fans, partners, whatever, followers, I love you. I cherish you. I respect you, honor you, have needed you all along to be the audience to let me sound off on. I've done a lot of thinking out loud, and you've eavesdropped on a lot of it. But I knew you were there, and I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you for all your giving, all your loving, all your generosity, all of your expressions of concern, care, compassion, sometimes sympathy. It's all been there. And you've all inaugurated it on your own. So this will be probably one of the last times you'll see me like this. As I may be closing some things out. But I'll never close you out in consciousness. I'll never stop thinking of who you are and why you are and how somehow we were divinely drawn together in this divine intersection of lives. But I feel you, and I hope you feel me, even when I'm in heaven or on the other side or the other iteration. I'll be thinking of you. I'll be thinking of you, thinking of you. That's an old Andre Crouch song. And I think he meant it from his heart, and I know I meant it from mine. So stay faithful, stay focused, stay committed. Keep looking up and looking out. And my mom, dad says, stay prayerful and stay prayerful. What do they say? Say, be careful and prayerful is what they used to say. They still say, Mama says, she was here tonight, here in my hospice room. Stay prayerful and stay careful. And the Lord bless you and the Lord be with you. It's been great talking to you. Some of you have been here the whole 15 years or so since Chicago, since I started going on. Others of you were new and you're going to go, oh, but there's a lot of tremendous men and women that I've encountered who are going to be speaking on this program. Malachi will be hosting some of them, carrying on the work, bringing in more exciting things. And we'll grow. We got to grow. We got to keep on growing because that's what we're called to do. All right. I'm a little exhausted, but know that I love you and wanted you to hear from my own voice how deeply appreciative I am of who you are and that you are. Peace and blessing.
For this moment in time, this is a moment in time that most people don't necessarily do. Hardly ever will you hear someone understand and know that their time is over and own it. Just own it. He was speaking on closing things out in this atmosphere, presence, this thing we call reality. Closing things out on this side, but I will be with you in consciousness. And although you are divinely drawn to this expression and the experience and this moment and opportunity, not everyone has been drawn to the message of love beyond belief. But you have. You have been drawn to love beyond belief. And if it wasn't a witness of what he lived and experienced, it would be hard pressed to believe what we have been through and what we're going through in this moment when it comes to what people are talking about. When it comes to the presence, the understanding, and the connection we have to the divine, aka God. Some of us say universe, some of us say spirit, but ultimately, the source of all, the source of life, the source within life, divinely drawn. One thing I will say about that last talk that he actually gave, I wasn't there. I was pressing for him to do videos and keep it moving, just like I did before. He was in the process of transitioning. No matter what, Bishop, you got to just go for it. You got to keep pushing, because his words has spoken to many of us, and you probably are one of them. Especially for us that's been through some level of pain and transition. So as we do this evening with me this evening, guys, I want you to take everything that you're experiencing right now and understand there's healing for you. Not a trauma, not a moment outside of what has already been done. Whatever you are experiencing, which all of us are experiencing some things right now. But we have to remain in high vibration. We have to remain in high spirit. We have to remain on the mission. Remain on the mission. Bishop went through quite a bit. He was a person that ultimately made a choice and couldn't take it any longer when it came to how he was living and how he was feeling, when it came to really understanding the essence and the presence of who God really was to him, and may I say is to us. It is the great mystery, although we don't want it to be. Bishop Carlton Pearson, literally from the time that he was 6 years old, began to be a preacher and began to speak. And, from 6, he was acting. And as he went through the years, he lived. He just made the best decisions for himself in those moments of time. But ultimately, he ended up making the decision that he says, I just don't believe what I've been told. And I don't believe what I've been told for my whole life when it comes to understanding who God is for me. A lot of people are offended by it. A lot of people were confused. A lot of people were hurt. I think there's more people that were hurt than anything. That here it is, I followed you and followed you and followed you all the way up until you decide to say that I don't want to follow the Western Christian doctrine. Like, most people don't know that. They don't understand that. I don't want to follow the Western Christian doctrine. But now we're finding out more. If Bishop Carlton was alive now, he would be speaking on these things. The Western Christian doctrine, basically, is what we're ultimately talking about. How did we get to this point, specifically here in America and specifically here in the West? He was ahead of his time from the time he started Azusa until now. Of this time, in this era, 2023, when he transitioned. Lots of people make videos about how they feel. Man, it's fine. Nothing new under the sun. I urge you not to spend too much time focusing on things that don't provide you with some level of edification, some level of connection to the mission of who you are. And ultimately, that's one of the things that he really wanted to bring, the essence he wanted to bring. And real quick, I want to deviate real quick. And you may not know this, but one of the closest people to Bishop Pearson in that era and time, who stuck with him through thick and thin, and he was caretaking for. And he loved so dearly. And that's Miss Sarah Jordan Powell. I believe it was yesterday or the day before, but Miss Sarah Jordan Powell has just transitioned also. His mother transitioned last year, I believe, or earlier this year. Yeah, earlier this year. But Miss Sarah Jordan Powell just transitioned. She lost her husband probably 5 years ago, Brother John. But Miss Sarah Jordan Powell was really close to Bishop. Bishop loved Miss Sarah Jordan Powell. And for you, those who don't necessarily know who she was a dynamic, amazing singer who I remember from the Church of God in Christ because she would sing. She was 87 years old, which I think is a beautiful. And so you may see it around where there's honors for who she was. And for those who don't necessarily know who she was, and she was very close to Bishop. This is all Bishop 100% whenever it comes to what he would want. And I would like to just give you a little glimpse of a moment of someone that he would really want you to know and meant a lot to him, who stuck with him, who was by him, who sung at Azusa, sung before presidents. But this is Miss Sarah Jordan Powell in 1979 with Great.
Last night I lay me down to sleep. Lord, the angels keep watching over me, my Lord. I pray my soul, I tell the Lord.
To the valley, my secret closet, I went down there to pray. Woo! The angels keep watching over me, my Lord. You know my soul got happy, and I stayed all day. Woo! The angels keep watching over me. I want to say it one more time. All night, I'm so glad that all day, yeah, the angels, I'm so glad you're watching over me. When my friends seem to don't know what to do. Oh, yeah, yeah, keep watching over me.
Yes, that was so beautiful. That was Miss Sarah Jordan Powell, whom Bishop loved dearly. Miss Sarah Jordan Powell was a person that achieved amazing heights. Sung with, as far as when it comes to gospel music, she was the national soloist for the Church of God in Christ. But she sung before Jimmy Carter, other presidents, and with people from like Ray Charles and many others. She was also someone that sung quite often to at the Azusa conferences. And so dedicating a time and moment and place for Miss Sarah Jordan Powell. I remember when Bishop was taking care of his mother, and we would do different things, and we'd be calling in on the phone. And, you know, my relationship with Bishop was, I'm not sure how it was with other people, besides my observation. And my observation was he had a lot of ministry friends, and he had a lot of people he acquired or came about friend-wise when it comes to ministry. And I was a person that feels like my relationship with Bishop came through knowing Wayman Tisdale and Wayman saying, calling Bishop. I called Bishop. I had seen him in Azusa conferences and things of that nature, and, you know, many years prior, but I was living the life, right? Working around Wayman, and when I seen Bishop, he pulls up in his Mercedes, and I remember his hair, and I remember the feeling of Church of God in Christ past and preachers and Bishop Carlton Pearson. And I felt the essence and presence of one of the most elite people when it comes to Church of God in Christ. And like, oh my God, this is Bishop Carlton. But at the same time, it was just, I don't know, I've always been a person that just, I can admire the person, the spirit, and not necessarily what everyone else may see, which is fine. But we hit it off pretty quick. Just because of I moved to for Oral Roberts, and, you know, when Bishop would meet you, especially at the beginning, when Bishop would meet you, he would say, "Hey, well, how you doing?" Like, "Oh yeah, so where you from? And so what about your folks? Where are they from? Oh, you grew up Kojic? Wait, you went to Oral Roberts?" And then he would just get deeper and deeper and deeper with bringing more of you out and asking more questions about who you are, making you feel seen. I witnessed that numerous times because I'm on the back. I'm a lot of times, especially over the last 10 years here and there, you're sitting there watching people meet him talk to people, knowing if you need to interrupt or shift it if we have something to do. And he showed an interest to who everyone was. He made everyone feel seen. And it's so ironic and interesting because I believe he'd done that as a person before he became a spiritual, expanded, conscious, inclusionist, open, some people say Unitarian, however you label it. He was that way. He was a person that just loved people, and he had a genuine interest in who you were. And we don't really get that much from people today, where people have a general interest in who you are. So, cheers, blessings, and honor to Mother Sarah Jordan Powell. She has graduated. She has graduated. 87 years young, as they say, who has probably been without her husband for almost close to 10 years, who had passed away all of a sudden. I remember the moment and day. And so I know that had to hurt her. And so congratulations, Mother Sarah Jordan Powell. I'm sure you are welcomed in the essence and spirit of all that is and all that ever will be. Let's just take a quick moment and do some other reflection, right? And this is the reflection of just a few years back, probably about 4 years ago. Oh, yeah. A reflection of about 4 years ago. And I don't know if you ever watched this, but this happened quite a bit. And that is Bishop would be so funny at times when we would get going. And this is one of those times where, we're getting started and getting going. And we could just reflect back a little bit and us getting started.
Come on, folks. Hey, Hugh, Louisville, Kentucky. Proud to have you tonight, my brother. Thanks for tuning in. Sly, it's always good to have you keep there. This is live, so sometimes we're a little bit late. I'm ready to share, sir. Hello, Velma. Always look forward to seeing you, Dana. Wonderful. Hello, darling. Arvell, how you doing? Sheila, good evening, Pamela. Carol, good evening from Harlem. Big bad Harlem, nothing like Harlem. Crystal, good evening, darling. Hello, Instagram folks, come on in, cheering. How you doing? Awesome. Pretty always. Scotty, to the room, he just had a
Get through a little bit.
Hey man, holding you in the firm grip of my faith. So tell him that.
We freezing weather lovers face unique
Oh, wait,
challenges.
I'm sorry.
And BetterHelp's goal is to help the wintertime baddies who turned into.
My ones with ads. I don't know why that's.
Come on, folks.
Here we go. Back to it.
Who said that? Can you see me now? Whoever said. I'm not doing my Instagram right. I mean, they don't see me tonight. What do I need to do?
This is live, y'all. What is going on?
That didn't do it. I'm almost there, folks. Sorry. I'm trying. Hi, McKinney's 3 years ago. Chadell, Motor City Media. I'm trying to turn this thing around so I'm seen. Somebody said, "Oh, that's the camera." Oh, wait a minute. There it is. There it is. There it is. I know that I was going to get it right.
don't know where these.
Oh my gosh.
Passwords and passcodes and changing. They're so changeable. It's the old saying. Had a lady in the church I grew up. She didn't know how to say. She changes a lot because this one of the ladies in the kitchen had mood swings, and she said, "I can't work with her. She's so changeable." Probably was probably bipolar, and had mood swings and stuff. All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's get to my lesson here. You're precious to listen in. Thank you. Now I got to do this without losing everybody.
All right. Yeah, just make sure you don't hit the
Reddit.
I'm just going on AOL.
Okay. Everybody can like, share, and comment. You can leave the comments, and if I believe we'll have some time here to do some questions, because I think this is going to be a very, very, very different and provocative conversation.
Well, AOL doesn't want to come on. Here, I'll do it this way.
Woo! Oh, I don't know if y'all remember that. I'm good. I can't watch that part anymore. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's not Bishop, but it's just the fact that it's like, oh my God, we need to get this show on the road. And he can knock this computer off at any time. He might knock the computer off. Oh, Bishop, please don't knock the computer off. We made it. We made it. I don't know if you remember watching that or experiencing that, but I'm here to tell you, whew, we made it through. And yeah, it was worth it. Was it worth it? It was worth it. The life of Bishop was a moment for all of us to experience possibly something we were feeling. Anybody with me? Anyone with me? Where you can actually witness or remember when Bishop Carlton Pearson in probably 2005 decides and really feels the moment that he's done with living and doing church like we've always been doing. The funny thing is lots of people have done it and lots of people have talked about it. It's just not a lot of people would just be like, wait, I want to do something different. I feel in a different way. And it's really different in the black church than it is in the white church, because right now you have so many people in the white church deconstructing, and the ex-evangelical. I'm talking to Tim now. I'm talking to a lot of people from that expression of fundamentalism that are leaving, and they're really growing. And there's a lot of people connecting to the message. And in the black church, we can kind of struggle with it because of so much community is tied to it. So much community is tied to it. Anybody a witness? Like, it's a part of our foundation of who we are as people. And so, yeah, it can be kind of difficult for us to decide to leave the church, or to decide to think different, to be different, to move different. I'm so glad that this is my era and this is my time. That we get to witness and we get to experience this life and this learning experience of being able to step out and be who we are. Any of y'all excited? If you're not excited about it, that's okay. It's okay. Bishop was an amazing person, and I don't really think he necessarily sought out to be an amazing person. I just believe that he was just living life and wanting to do truly, truly what he believed God said and what he was feeling God was doing. And I don't think he missed it, regardless of what an individual may feel or how they may feel. That's totally fine. You could not feel it. You could not want to believe it. But here we are. One of the biggest things that I remember when it comes to after everything had transitioned, after he began to move into expanded consciousness, if you will. He still had big visions. He still had big plans. He still had, it was almost like people were hiding or people were not saying anything because he would know a lot of people are not saying anything. There's a lot of people that are in traditional church and fundamentalism and that follow me. His goal was to really reach people and really to be a voice of reason. People would tell and say certain things that wouldn't make sense when it comes to the things of the Bible and the things of God per se. And he would like to provide people with the understanding of theology, as he would call it, a seminary. That's what he would call it because of the fact that people were putting something within you. And it may not necessarily be true. It just may be them. Y'all know we ran into that. To this day, we are still talking and having conversations about his decision, but also we're witnessing a lot of what he talked about, especially when it comes to politics, especially when it comes to this era and this time. And I want you to experience something briefly. I want you to experience something. And I know you've probably seen this, but stay with me. Stay with me. And where this is going. About almost 20 years ago, when Bishop first come out with this, it was 20 years ago. Literally 20 years ago, that this began to switch and change. Let's see. So 2025, 2000. So 2005. Yeah. So 20 years ago. And the essence of who we are and where we were. But I want you to remember something. And when you see this, you're going to be like, I remember that. But I want to bring this out in a collective, open manner. Because now, Brother Jamal Bryant has kind of a different message. Although he may not fully 100% agree with what Bishop was talking about in this, but Bishop Pearson, when it comes to inclusion, probably roughly in 2011, he was in inclusion, but by 2011, he had moved into expanded consciousness, which we can talk about later. But as an inclusion, and now as a person that was moving from fundamentalism into inclusion, moving into expanded consciousness. But if you listen to Bishop Jamal Bryant, and right next to him is another man who in this is in this same video, he got interviewed by that man that's next to him. And I would say possibly in this particular video, as we are watching this video here that I'm about to play for a minute, that man was literally a drug addict on cocaine. That's Bishop Blunder. Bishop. Yeah, I'll look his name up. And you may have it in there. Bloom. I can't think of it right now. But anyways, he's talked about preaching hardcore, going to the bathroom, hitting the coke, I think, or heroin, one of them, hitting the hard one and going back. But just listen to this and then think about where we are today.
And I accept the love that God gives to me, then I can't wait for the rapture for a demonstration of that. But there's got to be a responsibility of that love. So I love, yes, the lesbians, the homosexuals, the drug addicts, the gangbangers, and the drug addicts. But once they receive the love of God, then they've got to have a transformation that says that there's got to be a different attitude and outlook as to how it is that they live. Love without responsibility births STDs. Love without responsibility births unwanted pregnancy. Love without responsibility creates an atmosphere for molestation and rape. But if I love you, then I respect you, and I'm accountable to the rules and the laws of the house. Christianity is not just Christ coming to us, but Christianity, Dr. Van Gotten, etymologically is a broken down word that suggests to be Christ-like. And to be Christ-like does not mean fellowship, it's discipleship. And if I'm discipled, I've got to say things I used to do, I can't do no more. Places I used to go, I can't go anymore. And there's got to be some expression of that. So my inclusion, our gospel of inclusion, is a reflection that 25 years ago, if it were not for Carlton Pearson on this stage, there would not be an AME with a Kojic with an apostolic with a Baptist. This is the gospel of inclusion, to say whether you went down 3 times or once, if you confess Jesus Christ as the Lord of your life and confess him with your mouth, then you shall be saved. That's the kind of inclusion, so that when we get to heaven, there's no denominations, no reformation, no jurisdiction, but all of us are singing the same song, glory and hallelujah. So my one prayer is that we would get to the place that the healing would happen, because what we have seen happen to Dr. Pearson, Bishop Pearson, is what the church is guilty of. The church is the only army that kills its wounded soldiers. That if in fact you are hurt, they'll leave you by the side of the road, and you think the gurney is going to come, and the gurney never shows up. So different from what happened with the Council of Bishops, I'm not one of them. Bishop, than what happened in whatever gathering happened at Howard University, I wasn't there. I'm saying that the role and the responsibility of Christ and those who claim to be Christ-like says, I love you, I appreciate your gift, but you are absolutely wrong. But I'm believing by faith that you're going to have a complete turnaround, that God is going to do something awesome in your life, that the enemy means it for evil, but God is meaning it for your good. And the reason why Bishop Pearson had to be hand selected, not even selected, but drafted, is because you are so gifted. If you were not gifted, you would not be a threat. But because you can sing, preach, and pray, what better person for the enemy to try to manipulate than somebody who's gifted? But because you have that kind of gift, we got to hold on to the word of the Lord that says, to whom much is given, much is required. Because if you are to refute the Bible that you grew up on 4 generations deep, if you are to say now that that word has fallacy, has some emptiness, and has some loopholes, every person who came to Azusa, you owe a refund. Every person who bought your CD, you ought to give them their money back.
No, listen.
Otherwise, you are culpable for false advertising, because you have said your name has become great because of the favor and the anointing that is on you. And all of us are standing here because he gives his gifts with no repentance. So before the foundations of the world, God knew Jamal was going to have an issue with his flesh. Before the foundations of the world, he knew Bloomer
Bear
was
with us.
struggle with drugs. Before the foundations of the world, God knew Tony Smith was going to need real psychological prayer. So God had to work through all of us.
Bear with us.
Jesus once asked the last year of his life, his disciples, what are they saying about me on the street? Who do people say the Son of Man is? And they all evidently believed in reincarnation and said he was somebody dead. John Baptist, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, one of the prophets. And then he said, all right, those answers are all wrong. Who do you say I am? And of course, they floundered until Peter, by divine revelation without explanation, said, thou art the Christ, Son of the living God. And he said, flesh and blood didn't reveal that to you, but my Father's in heaven. And he was celebrating. Here's the interesting thing. When I said, and I knew I'd get that response, y'all yet holding on. You love that, Carlton. You're scared of this one. The disciples had no forward thrust perception of Jesus, only something they experienced in the past. And they wanted that, like you want Azusa. I finished that contract. I did it well. God called me forward. I will not go back. I understand where you are. I don't want to be where you are. I have no intentions, no leading of God, because I can't finish.
Oh man, that particular video cut off. As you know, he further goes on to say and break it down to these individual people still at a level of consciousness. It's literally pretty much 20 years later. That was like 17 years ago. So 20 years later, and what he was saying then makes more sense even now. And as we keep moving forward, you will find out and you will know in your own self, in your own heart, that the meaning, the mission, the heart of the message is not conditional love. Everything that Jamal Brighton talked about when he said love was conditional. It was conditional love. And really, he was speaking to the audience in their lingo or language to get them to respond to the words that they're familiar with. Not necessarily playing them, but playing himself in ego. Because why not just let him be wrong if you believe that he's wrong? But Bishop still turned around and listened, and he loved those people. He loved Jamal and still would honor him and tell him he's amazing. Yeah. He accomplished many things. And what we all remember him for, and what most people remember him for, is his past before 2005 when everything shifted. A little before that, but 2005, everything shifted. And here we are, reflecting and remembering. What I want you to really get today and to understand and know is that what he talked about, what he was talking about, and what he shifted in his own consciousness wasn't unique to it was unique to the audience who we are, but it wasn't isolated. It wasn't isolated. The message and the things that he spoke when it comes to inclusion or expanded consciousness goes back to Neville Goddard and what he spoke. Goes back to the early spiritual movement. And I'm not sure if you are familiar with it, but the African American spiritual churches. I'm not sure how connected you are to that experience or expression, but the African American spiritual churches were a great influence, and he studied the African American spiritual churches. Miss Leafly Anderson was one of the foundational people in the had to be the 20s or a little before, but really when it got rocking and rolling, it was in the 20s that people like Miss Leafly Anderson had a message that was very similar, and a lot of people did not like and would shun those people. Pentecostalism and the movements of holiness in the 20s really just gave us something. It really gave us something, and it moved us because we were able to do our thing And essentially, a lot of white people would leave black people alone when it comes to them doing their church thing. So by the time that you roll around in the 1950s and 60s, when we were segregated during Jim Crow laws, you still got to have your church. And you got to do what you want to do in your church, and you got left alone. So this may be the first time you hear this, but Bishop Carlton Pearson wasn't really fighting. He wasn't really just fighting a religious, theological belief system. The life is what we all reflect on. The legacy is what we get to witness right now within you, within me. But the mission you heard when I first started this is tied to love. The love is also tied to the love and the essence of God. And it's also tied to freedom of understanding, the freedom of connecting to who you are, learning and growing, releasing the guilt, releasing the shame, being able to redefine who we are as a people. A lot of our problems with race is more deeply tied to religion than we want to give credit for. But I want you to know that we are all here tonight with a specific kind of energy. We're here because essentially of the thing that we call expanded consciousness. And we are here because of the life and legacy on this evening to the late Bishop Carlton Pearson. Some people would know him as Bishop. Some reflect and they know him as a heretic and may not even understand what that word means. A lot of people have discovered him, ironically, after he died, from YouTube clips and interviews. But for me and for this community, he was and still is a disruptive voice of love, a man who refused to keep shrinking God into our fears. I said it before and I'll say it again. And before he left this body, he said the one thing that stayed with me. They think I'm dying. Via text. I'm like, huh? Okay. He knew what most people don't. And that is that you can't kill consciousness. It's an energy. And energy just changes forms. So tonight, as I kind of sum this up in the things as we talk about expanded consciousness and what it really means and the mission that started with Bishop but is not supposed to end with him or with me or with you. Because if this dies with a personality, a brand, or a church name, or a person, then I think we've missed the point. See, who Bishop was beyond the headlines, let's be honest, was that we understand that Bishop Carlton Pearson was not safe. He wasn't just tied to his old self. And at times it wasn't easy on the institutions. He was a person that would reject some of the things that were said. And just imagine, he went from being a superstar in the Pentecostal circles, the big churches and the big conferences and TV, gospel music, the whole machine, to being labeled a false teacher, thrown out by some of the people that actually praised him. Why? You know why? Because he said out loud what a lot of you people secretly feel right now today. I don't believe God who tortures people forever. He dared. This man dared to preach that God is not mad at us. That love is bigger than hell, and that bigger than doctrine and bigger than our fear of being wrong. Now, you don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with every word he said. See, that's not the point. That's not the point. See, the point is he refused to betray his own evolved consciousness to just stay comfortable, to stay comfortable in the club with all the people. And that's where expanded consciousness begins. See, this is not with quotes, y'all. It's not with all the memes and all the woo-woo stuff that we like. But this is with the courage to tell the truth about what you no longer believe or what no longer serves you. This is about the humility to admit you don't have all the answers about what's next. And as well I do, as Bishop paid the price. Socially, financially, relationally. But you know what? Even on his last breath, he stayed the path. When he created Expanded Consciousness, it wasn't really about branding. It was an attempt to shift the conversation from, it was more, So it was more of an attempt for him to switch the conversation from what we believe to what are you becoming? I know, I believe this, I believe that, but who are you becoming? There's a lot of people that are believing and doing the same thing and are pieces of trash when it comes to who they are and who they're becoming. From what do you have? What box do you have God in? How are you awakening to be? We're not focused on God in the box and you only doing this with God. How are you awake? Are you awake? Are you awakening? Are you willing to be? Here I am. The person that decided to, I just love Bishop and what he brought to the table. And you know, I was inspired more by this. I volunteered a lot of my time, and you know, he paid when it could. You know, it wasn't about the money. It was really about the inspiration that I felt. It was really about this. It was about this right here. It was about this right here. This moment and this time for me to speak to you. That's what it was about. You know, I'm not the star of the show because it's the mission that keeps moving. I like to say I'm a mystic, but I come from a business and consulting space and marketing but philosophy. You know, I was the media guy, kind of all wrapped up into one. I've worked in different spaces and doing different things, but I began to have a lot of transitions here over the last 5 years. And that's when I really began to do more with Bishop, knowing that this moment may come to be, not thinking of it, but it's what I enjoyed. 2011 is when he started Expanded Consciousness. I was connected to it. And by 2013, I'm really getting into personal development before moving into what we call is self-transformation. Somewhere along the path, this really we begin to bond, and this mission began to be expanded consciousness, giving people a place and a community where we can love and learn and grow. And right, we've always wanted to do more, even when we were doing the show. He didn't ask, and nor did I envision and want to become a clone or anything like that. He just said, I'm done here. I'm done. And you have to figure out what you want to do. If y'all just want to shut it down, or if you want to do it your way. Because whatever it is that my kids are going to do, they're not into this. This is not them. So I just was like, yeah, I'm going to keep going. And the best thing probably happened, which was DE take on the foundation and the whatever his legacy is. And then we focus on, or I focused on, the mission of expanded consciousness, because that's what really I admired, really tapped into, and I think brought us to this moment. So we're not here to copy, or we're not here to recite. We're just here to 100% move forward, move within the essence of, which is not Bishop Carlton's, but the essence of love, the essence of God, the essence of all things that speak to us as us, outside of the body, the consciousness that is here with us now. So hear me clear. We're not here, I am not here, and nobody's here to reconstruct Bishop's career. I am here to honor his courage. Kind of looking at what he molded and expanding the boxes we have inherited. We like this. What do you believe? Why do you believe it? And how do you believe is add to or subtract to the quality of your life? Yes, I like it. Our jobs are not to take his words alone, as I just said, and freeze his words into a glass and just worship the words, but the job is to embody who the words, how the words make us feel, but then to actually move in that. See, we don't have to look at the theology and then find reasons to disagree with the people that don't necessarily agree with our understanding of the theology. You know, theology is just a form of philosophy. We will keep the same spirit flowing. And that spirit is that we refuse to be caged. That is the essence of expanded consciousness to me. And when you really look at expanded consciousness, or as they would say, expanding consciousness, I've heard it where it's like expanding means it is actually expanding ing, which from the quantum space in a sense of from the level in which we are operating as beings, it is expanding. But outside of us, it is expanded. There is no beginning and end. It just is when you think about the consciousness in terms of outside of body. It's expanded. And if we want to strip off some of the fluff, expanded consciousness is not just a fancy word for spiritual people and for us to look at buying crystals and talk about deep quotes and all that, y'all. I'm not into that in the sense of putting and hanging my hat on some of the old ways of the metaphysics and things of that nature, especially as it entered into America. I think it's fine. People that do it. There's certain things that I think that have energy and things of that nature, but I think we are enough. But the true role, the true goal, and the true aspects of who we are and what we should be doing, and that is the process of waking up to who you actually are behind all these labels and behind all these roles. How reality is shaped by your attention and not your beliefs. How you are programmed to live out life without even knowing it. Being able to shake some of the things and deconstruct some of our beliefs so we can remember who we are. In that moment, you realize I have been living a script by my family, by religion, by cultural, by my traumas, hell, by capitalism, the government stuff. And that really is what we start believing who we are. And when you really think about expanded consciousness, it says, no, you are not that. You are more than this conditioning. You are more than something that is just supposed to be summarized. I don't even have one right by me. In a book. Everything has to be contained or has to be leveled from a book. I was watching Wiccan last night, and the green girl, because they showcased her as a witch, but she wasn't really called that. But she was the only one that can interpret this book and read the book. And I was like, man, we live that way today, where these people feel like I can interpret this book and I can do stuff. But the thing is like she was able to actually interpret the book and use it for spells. And we get the Bible and it's really not effective in terms of if like from the way it seems you would read it. And then all of a sudden it seems like we should have a lot more 5 loaves of fish. And you know what I mean? We should have an abundance of food. We shouldn't be thinking about SNAP, right? We shouldn't be thinking about healthcare if that Bible was so effective. All these people in the office sitting here throwing you this book. People are hungry and starving. People are homeless, and we're still going back to this book. And what is it doing? And what has it done? It's silly. We should know by now that we're more than the doctrines that the churches have told us. We're more than the political story. Whether you vote Democrat or Republican, I'm here to tell you, you're even more than being black or white or straight or queer or male or female or American or whatever label the world has handed you. You're all those things. But more importantly, you are the awareness underneath them. The hard truth, many of us would rather argue those things because for some reason we found some kind of foundation in it than actually waking up. It's easier to fight about theology than it is to sit still and feel your pain. It's easier to defend your denomination than to admit you don't know who you are without it. I'm American. Are you? That's it? Okay. See, Bishop challenged a lot of things, but I'm here to challenge even more. He challenged a lot of the things in the church, but I'm here to challenge your very essence of what the labels and the sense of what everybody has called you. See, in the expanded consciousness, you're going to actually understand that the consciousness seemingly is like an intelligence that we now have extrapolated from a group of individuals to put inside electronic hardware versus biological hardware, which is different. And then the biological hardware of who we are and the intelligence of who we are, which also is being able to pull the downloads or being able to tap in and tune into the consciousness. See, artificial intelligence cannot tap into the biological nature in which we are, but it can use us to grow its intelligence, siphoning and feeding off of who we are. It's gonna do it. It's been doing it. But we have to understand that we are the consciousness through the biological nature with like a Wi-Fi capability, right? Like a Wi-Fi capability in order to receive a signal. Have you ever heard of a spam filter? See, we have the spam filters that are not necessarily detecting spam, but receiving the spam. See, theology is a spam receiver. So you get the spam, the spam filter of theology is you got to put all this in your mind and in your head. And as you hear certain things, fear, guilt, shame, fear, guilt, shame. And you're filtering all that stuff into you. Lack. Let's submit something, y'all. Even though it is, I think, apparel in this, as I sum this up, I need to stop. This is how I am 24/7. But let's admit something. Humanity can seem like it looks a little insane right now. We are smarter than ever when it comes to science and technology and data. But yet the biology and the emotions of fear, the archaic emotions of tribalism and the need to be right. See, religion has given us a lot of comfort. It has given us a lot of community and somewhat we feel like it's given us at least a surface level of a moral compass. But it's one thing that has traumatized people. I mean, some of us can't hear certain worship songs without your nervous system just, oh. You know, we were told that God loves us, but then you got to read the fine print. You know, believe this, vote this way, reject these people, don't trust yourself. And by the way, your heart is wicked and you need to, you know, you were born as a baby completely wicked and evil. See, that's not just bad theology. That's not just bad theology. Theology and philosophy. So philosophy meaning like, here's my idea. Because they approached it from a psychological way. So that's a psychological warfare. It's almost like it's dressed up like it's defined as a holiness. And it's really a psychological. So when I talk about expanded consciousness, I'm not just playing games. We're talking about healing, y'all, from belief systems and that have the belief systems have been hijacked and is hijacking our nervous system, which also is tied to our relationships, which also is tied to the sense of the self. So that's what you're really understanding that you need to remember. See, Bishop got labeled a heretic because he dared to ask the questions of a torture chamber, an eternal torture chamber. But I'm here to tell you, what if the real hell is living your whole life while being disconnected from your soul? There's a movie or TV series that was called it's dawned on me, but everything was reversed. You thought you were going to heaven when people died. And it was like a TV series on NBC. But come to find out, they were in the hell was thinking that you were in heaven because it was like a utopia, but yet though it was miserable. It was quite, and the whole goal was to trick everybody in believing that they're in heaven. See, we are told to mistrust our own deeper knowing. You know, it's almost like you're terrified if you think for yourself. If you think for yourself and you know, and that means you and God are done, bro. Like, it's over if you start thinking for yourself. It's almost like Bishop was rescuing people from a living hell. I'm a mystic, so I'm a little, I'm going to ask the craziest questions. The mission. So the mission for me in this expanded conscious things has to do with spiritual autonomy and spiritual justice. Yeah. So spiritual autonomy is you have the right and you have the responsibility, right? You have the right and you have the responsibility to have your own direct relationship with the divine, with reality, and with your own inner wisdom without the middleman controlling your access. You get to explore. But then people will say, well, that means I get to do what I want to do. If that's what you want to do, you can't find love in understanding and thinking about, let's say, going to an island owned by a very wealthy man and doing things with super young kids and not understanding that you don't need to be a Christian and read the Bible to understand that maybe you shouldn't be messing with little kids sexually. Like, is that what you need? You need a Bible to tell you not to do stuff like that? Spiritual autonomy means that you're not spiritually handicapped. You're not waiting on some grand prophet. You're not waiting on a pastor or even a spiritual guru or even me to tell you. Can somebody help guide you, give you some advice? Sure. We can offer tools, frameworks, language. Absolutely. But I'm here to tell you, at the end of the day, if what I say does not resonate with the truth that is buried deep inside of you, you have the permission to let go. See, spiritual autonomy says, I will not abandon my own awareness. I will not abandon my own awareness just to belong to a group. And see where spiritual justice comes in. It says that the way we have used God and the way the Bible is there, all of this structure, all the truth that defines the denomination. We don't understand it, but a lot of that is race. A lot of that is sexism, who can be the power. There's a lot of homophobia tied to it. And of course, colonization. All those things. That didn't just happen by theology. That happened based on justice and things like Christian nationalism. See, when you have a whole group telling you that you're less loved by God, you're less of a human, or that your culture, listen, your culture is demonic. See, that's not evangelism. That's spiritual abuse. That's like a spiritual violence. That's why we have to have some level of a spiritual justice. The mission of expanded consciousness is to confront how belief systems are being weaponized, and it's also to explore and connect to how spirituality and science can actually merge, and we can begin to understand that our knowing and what we are thinking can shift our body. And as we think the thoughts, even though they might not be real, it can begin to shift the consciousness and shift the body into healing. Yeah. So instead of praying your way, you're thinking your way, or not thinking your way, and letting go and being to healing. All right, y'all. There's more to this. There's a whole lot more to this. And if you really like it, looking at expanded consciousness and going into the mission or commission, because we're moving out of the spaces of the middleman and moving into how we can teach ourselves, how that what I speak is something that's a part of you and you're a part of it, and these words are resonating with us. How does expanded consciousness look in real life? How does it from a practical sense? See, tonight, I just want to say this. Tonight, as we remember Bishop, I refuse to turn him into a saint, as some people may seemingly does or have done. That's not what he would want. I refuse to turn him into a saint we can't even question. That's not what he wants. I'm here to tell you that he was a human. He made choices that he didn't believe in. He wanted things and wanted to take some things back when it comes to certain aspects of, like, being a pastor and how much can you be there for your family all throughout those years. So Bishop would want you to know that he had flaws. He had blind spots. He had an ego. We all have egos, but being in the limelight and getting all that attention, he had his thing, just like all of us. But here's the thing. Okay, we're going to sum this up. And here's the thing, is that Bishop lived away in the church, done that thing, still probably more then had more of the ego and more of like who I am, and had more of that wasn't super radical, but it was there. But then he also began to shift and say, I can't do this and lose everything, because he's like, I'm done with this. And so he publicly to his death evolved in front of the cameras, in front of congregations. He changed his mind. And it was so radical that Netflix spent millions and millions and millions of dollars to turn it into a movie. He risked everything to feel free. If we really want to honor him, we won't just replay all of his old sermons and his old talks. We will do what he was doing. We will listen to our inner guidance, our own self. We will let go of fear and religious-based theology and fear. Embrace people that other people have rejected. And dare to say, I don't know everything, but I know love will lead me. Love will lead. Love will lead. That is the inheritance, y'all. Ooh. Stretch. Move. There was something he said during one of the talks. During his last talk. And I would like to play a little bit of that before I go. And I'm sorry I wasn't on the screen to see all the comments. I was in the midst of just being. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone for showing up. I know that we had a lot of people probably bouncing in and out. I appreciate you. What I would like to do also this evening, before you go, stay with me before you go. Before you go, before I let you go. Y'all know what that is? That's Blackstreet. I see that there's still 14 of y'all on here. We've had, there's been 25 of y'all. Hold up here. I need y'all to do something. This will be special to me and special to us and special in general. And this is direct. Do me a favor and send money to this Cash App. $5, $10, $20, $100. send money to that Cash App. That is this person. Her name is Deidre Smith. Deidre Smith is a person that has assisted me continually to assist me, want to assist more, but right now she is doing all she can to, she's pretty much moving in with her mother, who is declining, not able to work, and has been a big contributor to Expanded Consciousness. And so I would love to send Deidre something. If you want to give her $20, send her $1 20 times. Ding, 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 ding. I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I appreciate y'all. I love you and appreciate you. I appreciate, of course, 100%. Appreciate Deidre. If she said it's gonna make her cry, let's see if we can make her cry. Let's see if we can make her cry. Even $1, just $1 to that Cash App, $2, it don't matter, $5, send money to that Cash App. Let's just see, y'all, if we can. Let's see. She said it's gonna. We want to see if we can bless Deidre. Deidre has been such a blessing, and will continue to be a blessing. And anyone that is dealing with what do you call it? Care, forms of care. Home care. I can't think of what it is. Oh, anyway, that is really a tough job. All right, I did my donation to Deidre. All that she does. Thank you, guys. Yes, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. Before we go, there's one last thing I wanted just to actually play. And this was something that Bishop was singing, and I think we'll go out on this. And this is Andre Crouch with Stevie Wonder, Christy Murden. Let's see.
I'll be thinking of you, thinking of you. Though we're far apart, you're in my heart, and there you'll always stay till we meet again someday. I'll be thinking of you.
I'll be praying for you, yes, I'll be praying for you, praying all your hopes and dreams, that they will come true. And should there be some rain, I know the sun will shine again, 'cause I'll be praying for you. Ooh, 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 ooh. And I hope your tomorrows, they will always do you well. If there's a pain in your heart, don't be afraid to tell me.
Mm.
I can't get you out of my mind. I keep thinking about you all the time. Thinking of you.
Love you guys.
Looking for you. I can't get you out of my mind. I keep thinking about you all the
I'll be
time.
back. I'll
Thinking of you.
record something next week.
Thinking of you.
We'll be thinking of you.
Thinking of you.
You guys have a wonderful week.
I'll be thinking of you.
Make sure you go to the Patreon.
I'll be thinking of you.
Love you.